Yes, fight fans, boxing fans, welcome once again to your irrefutably, undisputably, your number one boxing content channel right here, Upfront Boxing. Just want to say a massive, massive thank you to each and every one of you that are following, that are sharing, that are liking the content. And if you're new around here, then welcome to your number one irrefutably, undisputed boxing content channel right here, Upfront Boxing. But let's get straight into the video. So it's been a few days since it's been announced about Boxer and the BBC and Boxer doing a 4-fight deal. It's meant to be a multi-fight deal. Whether this happens or it doesn't happen, but let's get straight into the nitty and gritty of this deal. And first off, I think the obvious thing is to announce is what the hell is going on with Boxer, Ben Shimon and Sky. Obviously, got given the keys, got given the foundations to truly obviously build something extraordinary with Sky, after obviously Eddie Hearn had left at Matchroom Boxing and went over obviously to DAZN, but one of the biggest UK platforms for TV, for content, and Sky predominantly been in the game for years. Now, it's started off all well, brand new fighters, new stables, built up a few obviously fighters and that, struggle on the various different fight cards, and various different fights didn't happen for one reason or the other. Contracts, they're getting signed, who should stand on the stage, who should be doing what, who should be doing this, very bit hit and miss, and maybe not forthcoming, and been brilliant obviously with the delivery of the product. But if obviously Ben Shimon and Boxer are now going over to the BBC, what is going to happen to the stable of the fighters? It's £37 million was revealed that got given to Boxer for the Sky Sports deal, and obviously the product was not exactly the best. There were some good fights. You had obviously the Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley fights, various other sort of fights that happened. What's happened to people like Stephen Robinson and others? It's been a lot of hit and miss. There's been a lot of talent, a lot of boxers that obviously got promised a lot, and then obviously all seem to scarper and diminish and go on to other platforms and that, where it's been a bit more sustainable, a bit more of what's going on. And this is not a diss, this is not a throw, just to put a disclaimer out there from Upfront Boxing. But look at the parameters of what's happening now. Yes, it is elsewhere. Yes, the BBC is publicly funded, so everything has got to be scrutinised because it is publicly funded. But are they going to be able to keep the fighters, the likes of Ben Whittaker's, Joshua Buatsi, who's obviously gone over to Queensberry Promotions? It's not looking good. These boxers are obviously going to want to get paid. They're going to want obviously the fight nights, and they're going to want to be on the biggest audiences. Now, it does the BBC step up and equal and match obviously the rights fees deal and the various different fees? Was this a desperation last grab by Boxer to try and maintain and stay relevant within boxing, and Ben Shimon to try and at least put something obviously together? Look, it's good that there's another outlet for us fight fans, boxing fans. We're the ones obviously going to be credited and going to obviously benefit from this at no obviously additional cost. But at the end of the day, without the pay-per-view platforms, without the Riyadh seasons, the Ring magazines, the zones, the Queensberry Promotions, are the fighters going to want to fight on and get them fight dates with only 4 fights a year as well? How does that work out? And, are they going to be sustainable? Are they going to have to rebuild their whole stable again? You've got Savannah Marshall as well, who's obviously looking now to come back in boxing after a excellent debut fight in the MMA. If you look at this list here of various different fighters, the ones that have gone, that have remained, it's just absolute a bit of a mess in the sense of what is happening from here, and where do Boxer go on forward, and how many more fighters do you think that will sustain under the boxing brand and under Boxer? When you look at the fights that are potentially happening on other platforms as well, this week we've got Moses Intama, Dillian White, massive sort of undercard. Riyadh's obviously season, anything that's given boxing over the last 18 months really, really does show what a competitive and what an absolutely fierce market that boxing has become. But the beneficiaries has been us, it's been you, it's been the fight fans. And will you obviously watch any of these fight cards that the BBC and Boxer are putting together? Is the BBC going to be able to maintain the level of sort of viewership as they've had obviously compared to Sky and the various different fight cards? It is rumoured as well that Boxer, as much as getting this deal and stuff, have approached obviously Matchroom Boxing and their production company to do the production of the fight nights and the fight cards. So it's already looking in serious doubt that the BBC can actually fundamentally trust Boxer 100% to actually put these fight cards and these fight nights together. So what will happen? Do you think it will be a success? Do you not think it will be a success? Is this a last-ditch grab for Boxer to maintain and actually be a relevance, obviously, within the boxing community? I think it has been hard at times for Ben Shalom to actually, get maybe some of the fights and the irrelevancies that he's wanted, but I think at the same time he's not played it probably 100% and not delivered in the way that maybe a lot of people did think that getting that Sky deal and £37 million investment is a heck of a sort of budget and a fund. And if Sky have sort of ended the deal, they obviously do not believe in the product. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens. It will be us, obviously, the fight fans that benefit from another outlet of boxing. But do you think the fight cards are going to be anything of you worth watching or wanting to watch? Do you think it will be sustainable? Will the BBC obviously, be longevity in this? Will they increase their budgets? Considering everything else with the TV licence and various sort of different fees and that as well that are unpopular with the BBC at the moment. Lots of questions, lots to see, but like anything, you've got to give everything a trial or go and give it the benefit of a doubt. But it'll be interesting to see how many of these fighters still remain with Boxer, what other fighters will come up that will be actually worth, us, you, I, the fight fans in viewership, and whether it be actually worth watching or not watching. But keep it locked, keep it Upfront Boxing. Fight fans, let us know what you think. Will you be watching the BBC and Boxer partnership moving forward? Do you think it will be fights and boxing that you want to see? Let us know in the comments below, but keep it locked, keep it Upfront Boxing, and we'll catch you on the next.